It's the UPX Podcast, baby. Glad you tuned in. Got your host, Thank Me Later, and you're stupid to win. Might be coming up session as soon as you begin. Start out king of the street, then lock in iconic in. Welcome to Upland. Grab your UPX, man. On your way, and the door hit you with $4,000. Get to buying and gripping, then to selling and flipping. Over to moving and shucking. I'm Scrooge McDuckin in UPX.
Fellow Uplanders, to another episode of the Upland Property Experts Podcast. I am your host, Too Stupid to Win. And as always, I'm joined by ThankMeLater, who is currently having some technical difficulties at the moment. So he will be joining us shortly. We do have an exciting episode for you, and I can say that without criticism because he's not here to pick on me for that. But we'll give you your weekly market updates as always, talk about the upcoming Spark Week. And then we have some of our speculations on what's going on with the market and upcoming Upland events, along with, will you accept that offer? We have two offers out there today to break down for you. And we love the creativity of the people in Upland. We got a pretty cool find out there that we'll share. Most of you have probably already seen that, but we'll get right to that. Also, welcome to episode 130. This is recorded on March 7th, 2022. So ThankMeLater still trying to work through his stuff. So we'll break down the top 5 city floors in Upland. Man. So Rutherford, I don't know what TM and his team's doing out there, but he definitely loves to pick up those Rutherford properties. And I know he had a price. When it hit a certain price, he was going to jump in on it and start buying those up. But it jumped 38.83% this week. So the floor there is 68,000 UPX. Manhattan stayed pretty steady. San Francisco had about a 4% gain. Santa Clara is sitting number 4 with a 6% gain. And the Bronx was the only top 5 city floor that actually dropped, and that dropped about 5.75%. Now, the interesting thing is the San Francisco floor dropped, and I thought it dropped 44.83% this week, down to $16. So I thought maybe it was just an individual that was stuck in jail and it was sitting there, or if somebody was just trying to unload. But actually, there were a couple of properties that were under the $20 floor and under the $30 floor because it was up over $30. I don't know what people are trying to get liquid for, or what people are selling USD for, but definitely it just wasn't one property. I was going to throw that out if that was the case, but you have a handful of properties at the $16 mark, $16.50. So it was pretty crazy. And the one individual was not DVOB LM. But yes, they did end up putting him in jail today. I did see that. But that was crushing the floors, absolutely. And then we look at the 30-day change for the top 5 cities. I did add what the prices were 4 weeks ago by request. People were wanting to see what the prices we were comparing it to, not just what the current price was and the percent changed over the 30 days. So as you can see here, the market is recovering, especially after the 30 days when we were pretty low. Welcome back. ThankMeLater. How are we this evening?
Oh my gosh. I am doing all right now that, well, whatever. I'm close enough. We had some technical difficulties there, but yeah.
Now, fake property. I found a couple of properties that are out there that say they're for sale. I don't know if it's an issue on the Telia side, but it's just always, oops, it's an error.
Yeah.
And I do try to discredit the one-offs, but there were some at $16.50. So there were a couple that just wasn't like it was $30 and then $16. So that's why I kept that price in there for the San Francisco floor. I'll back it up a slide. But I was just talking about the big drop in USD floor price of San Francisco.
Dang. That hurts a little bit.
And still, I forgot to mention, in my opinion, once again, not financial advice, do your own research, read the disclaimer for the video. Still, your best deal is buying with US dollars. If you have that ability, don't buy UPX at the moment. Go ahead and buy these secondary properties with cash.
Absolutely.
30-day change. So pretty healthy.
Yeah. No, I mean, I like that. Rutherford,
Oh.
get it. They're
Okay.
all locked.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I believe, and if anybody was going to buy it, it would be between DJ Shorts and
Dizzy.
So,
yeah. Let's see here. And then we'll get to the bottom 5 city floors.
Interesting. LA, I feel like that's a pretty significant drop.
Yeah, it's been up around $7 and it's continuously dropped on the US dollar floor price for LA.
Yeah.
Now, still Detroit, still steady rising, still under 5,000 UPX on the secondary market, $3.30 on the US dollar floor, and that's steadily climbing. This week, Kansas City and Cleveland swapped places. Kansas City moved up to 5th place. Cleveland moved down to 4th. That's the 3rd week in a row that Cleveland's floor price has continued to fall. And Los Angeles and Cleveland saw over a 20% decrease in their US dollar floor. And Kansas City's seen a 13% price increase this week. They've been steadily climbing over the last couple of months. Any thoughts or comments there on?
No, this is a compelling. We're putting together. Well, you know what it was? Is because I heard you say this is going to be a great episode, and ThankMeLater can't say anything about it. So now I'm just going to tank the episode. There you go. Yeah. So I guess you are a liar.
I guess so. I didn't think that far ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm still trying. I get very flustered with technical difficulties, which is weird because I'm in IT. But anyway, man, sold out. I like this slide a lot. LA $4 properties bugged. The real floor is $5 to $6. Dang, too stupid. What is going on? Making us
well, I don't have time to go and try and buy all these properties and see which ones are legit.
That's true. We need to do like the average, like the bottom 50 or something. Like we need to take an average of the cheapest 50 in the city.
That could work.
Yeah.
We'll figure something out, but yeah. So cities that are sold out: Detroit 63%, Los Angeles 62%, Nashville 69%, and Kansas City 76%. Detroit had a big jump last week. It was in the 50s. I forgot to do a comparison to last. It was like 54% or 56%. But yeah, everything's climbing. That means that a new city should be on the horizon soon.
You think? I would say, April. Yeah, I'm surprised, but they have been doing the announcements really late, like in the sense of, oh, hey, next Thursday there's a new city. Like,
right?
They used to like tease it out for weeks and months and contests and stuff. Yeah, you're right. Trending data and charted data, that definitely is on the docket.
List.
That would be cool. Yeah, put it on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did your video is looking crisp today too, man. You upgrade your internet? Oh yeah.
No. Nope, no upgrade yet.
Man, it's looking good.
Oh, good. That's good. Thanks. Now, yeah, the market's stabilizing, everything's starting to get back to normal, but with that sold out tab, that gets you wondering what once you see, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's next week, but I would think it's 6 weeks away, roughly.
Yeah, I think again, I have no reason to suspect this, but I feel like if I'm the Upland team, I'm looking at a 75 for like my tier 3 in a tier 1 city. Like once it starts hitting that 75% sold out, that's when I'm starting to like go, okay, maybe it's time to do something.
Yeah, once you hit that 75 mark, you start doing your calculations and your projections with your onboarding and the sales and projected of how long you'll have available property. And at least for the longest time, you're going to want to have, a tier 1 and a tier 3 available with tier 2 sprinkled in there too, just so you have the inventory for the different types of players that you want in the game.
Yeah, I would say the tier 2s probably not as much necessarily, but yeah, because I think that those will always just kind of be available. But I think the tier 1 and the tier 3s are going to be the big indicators and again, I think that they just will spawn either a tier 1 or a tier 3 based on that. And I think if they keep pacing, I think they weren't expecting Detroit. That jump up in Detroit kind of surprised me. So it'd be interesting if they were waiting for LA to sell out a little bit more before releasing another high tier city, expecting Detroit to be able to hold the new player base for a little bit, or vice versa. Like I'm curious how it's trending. We should try and get one of the Upland team members on and just ask them, point out like, hey, how's it trending comparatively to where you were expecting, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's been a minute since we had some Upland team member on, so I'll work on that, get that set up here.
Yeah, make that happen.
I'll make that happen. This heat map here is Los Angeles, and it's a month apart from March 3rd to April 3rd. As you can see, more stuff is starting to sell out, and it's starting to heat up. There's not as much light green. It's starting to get darker and darker and turning towards the orange.
Yeah, no, I mean it's going about as we expected. Do you see any like large event? Like, is there anything that would cause a true spike in activity or sellout event for LA specifically?
Oh, I don't know if I think they learned their lesson in San Francisco with the minting challenges and how it
Yeah.
forced them into new cities.
Yeah, I really hope that they don't do any minting challenges. That I'll be honest, it didn't go over well for a lot of people, which is fair. So I hope that they don't do that, but that would be interesting to see what that would look like. What if they did a minting challenge? Because if you remember the last time they really did a big minting challenge, thanks, DJ Shorts. I appreciate that. That's super cool. I think the last time they did it was for Manhattan, right? Like that was like the last really big centric.
Yeah. The minting challenges to get into the bubbles. And then they did the Mercer Manor one for the blockchain hero guys.
But that was before Manhattan.
Yeah, that was before.
Yeah, so I mean, they did a couple because they had like No Valley and stuff as well. But I would say the last big one, CD for cars. We got a lot of cool people here. I posted in one of the Facebook groups, so we might have some of our Facebook friends joining us live, which is cool. So what I was going to say is I'm curious, what if, and I hope I don't put this into their brain, what if they do a minting challenge for the rights to the first car?
Ooh.
Or like related to the car, the car release. Because how are they going to do that? Like,
There's going to be some sort of contest, some sort of challenge for that.
right? But like, doesn't it have to be like a build challenge? Like what other kind of challenge could they come up with?
And the only thing with minting challenges, though, it's you got people that are sitting on millions of UPX that they just go to town. So the rich get richer.
Yeah, dizzy gets dizzier.
Now, I do have to say, for as much as the whales are in the whales that are in Upland, the big contest and all that, very few of the whales win those types of things other than, auctions where they can throw their money around. But like Top Shot, they're setting it up for, the whales get VIP status and they're getting all kinds of extra perks. So I do find that interesting. Two extremes where it's like, oh, thank you for being a whale, but we're not doing anything special to you, to Top Shots like, we love that you're a whale and we're going to do all this cool stuff for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's fair.
But I mean, Top Shot's also doing pack drops and pulling in over $1 million a pack drop. So
really still?
yeah, oh yeah.
Good for them. And are you a Top Shot millionaire yet? What are you doing?
I'm not a Top Shot millionaire yet. My net worth is down. The market's down, but I'm still holding. It'll be okay.
I mean, honestly, that's everywhere. Even in Upland, like I would say the market is soft is how I would describe it. Like I've been scooping up I think those block explorers from the staking event will be important to cars. All block explorers are going to be important to cars. All block explorers are going to have driver attributes, and they'll all have the same like set of attributes, and they're all going to start at 0. So the Upland team has confirmed like there's no like special anything for any particular block explorer having an advantage necessarily over another. However, we said it last week. I love the speculation. It was one of my fellow cohorts on the Facebooks that said, what if there was some sort of experience bonus or some equivalent if you had a collection of the Block Explorer? So we have the Block Explorer collections. What if there was some EXP bonus or other advantage if, say, your racing team was all comprised of the same
collection? Yeah.
I think that's a very interesting thought. I hope that Upland takes that into consideration. I would love to see something like that happen. That'd be super cool.
Yeah. And here's Detroit's heat map. This is including the FSA properties. And then if we click on over, this is the non-FSAs. If you are outside of FSA ownership, you want some Detroit properties, you need to get there. It's turning pretty red pretty quick.
Oh man. I wonder who did that. Like, cause it's usually if there's a big jump like that, it's a couple of players or a new player coming in and buying up a bunch. Cause I mean, that's aggressive. Like that's a significant change.
I like this idea with cars.
Oh, a pit team. Yeah. I like that. Upland team. Make that happen.
Yeah. Now I did a comparison. This is from 2 weeks ago, or no, this is from last week to this week, since there was a big jump.
Yeah. No, there's significantly more black. You can see it's
more black, darker red.
I think the non-FSA might sell out in a couple weeks at this rate. It's interesting. I wonder why that little boot. What's up with that boot at the top?
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to go look at it. But it's interesting on this how some of these things are just Because LA had one of those too, where it's like super green, and you're like, why is nobody touching this? And let's see here. That is, let me see here. That is Berglasher.
Let's see here. It's 10.
And
It's 9,000. Oh, I got my calculator back. Look, I got my calculator. So
about 129 UPX per up square.
it's not terrible.
No.
But I guess it's probably expensive for Detroit. Is that I guess just what the issue is?
It's not a collection. It's
not really a good name either.
No.
Berglasher.
Yeah, it's 116 UPX per.
Dang, there's some cool. You know what? That's always one of the things. We hit a couple of the neighborhood names with some of the other releases. I don't think I've ever like looked at some of the names of Detroit. There's a neighborhood just called The Eye.
Yeah,
that's pretty dope.
Yeah,
south of 6, like there for me. Like I like the marketability of a neighborhood name. I think like that's really an undervalued aspect when you're setting up a node is how kind of catchy and trendy is your name, or like well known, obviously. So yeah.
Now for as much as these cities are starting to sell out, the floors are stabilizing, they're going up in value. As we were talking, I was thinking about 6 to 8 weeks and we're going to see another city drop, and everybody's got their speculation and hunches. Something that I was looking into is the teams that are still left from the NFL.
Oh,
these are the teams that don't play in the cities that you think they actually play in. Their stadiums aren't located in the cities you actually think they're in. You got the Jets and the Giants. They're in East Rutherford, but they're both New York teams. The San Francisco 49ers play in Santa Clara. But you have these teams right here. So the people thinking, oh, Miami's got to be a city. It just depends on if they're going to put Miami Gardens part of the city release, because the Cardinals play in Glendale, Arizona. The Bills play in Orchard Park, New York. Everybody's like, oh, Dallas is going to be huge, but they play in Arlington, Texas. So it just really depends on the release. Are they going to include these? Because the Raiders, they play in Paradise, Nevada. They're not like in downtown Las Vegas. And the New England Patriots are like, oh, Boston, but it's actually in Foxborough. And Washington Commanders, which is, you would think they're in DC, but they're actually in Landover, Maryland.
Interesting. Wait, the Cardinals? I thought there was a baseball team.
Yeah, the St. Louis Cardinals.
They play in Arizona?
The Arizona Cardinals, the football team, play in Arizona.
Wait, there's an Arizona Cardinals football team and St. Louis Cardinals baseball team?
Yes.
Jeez. I've legitimately never heard of the Arizona Cardinals. Like, actually. Like I would have bet easily $1 million UPX. Like, that's not a team. Like, you just made that up. Like, what? Arizona Cardinals? There's not a football team named the Arizona Cardinals. I honestly still don't even believe it. I think that you just got that mixed up with a different team.
No.
Baseball team.
No.
Okay, I'll believe you. I don't really know the sports ball as much as you do, so I have to take you at your word.
So my next city guess is it's not going to be one of these 8 teams or 7.
Really? Because honestly, well, what if they released the node? Because again, your tier 1, right? Like your tier 1 is kind of the center hub. So it's like a city hub. So like San Francisco being, that city hub. Foxborough is a small suburb town, like 16,000 people, Spanish off of Boston, less impressive than Rutherford. Yeah. So they have a couple different options, and I think that they've been kind of experimenting. I think Rutherford was a bit of an experiment to try and see. And then you saw like Alameda and what else released with Alameda? Berkeley. So like, we've seen a couple different patterns of like, what if we just released like a niche, small city that was probably going to sell out very quick, or expand an existing city with the kind of same capacity. I think they've been experimenting on like what city release style they like, and like what's probably more effective and less overhead. So, I mean, I could also see them releasing a hub and then like a small offshoot, or the offshoot first, right? Like a Rutherford type deal for one of these, especially if Detroit just all of a sudden really starts to sell out, and the FSA availability just drops. I could see them potentially standing up a tier 3 in conjunction with one of these, maybe. Like Glendale, Arizona would be probably, I think that's where I was born, actually. Glendale or Scottsdale. I don't remember. I was a baby.
You don't know where you were born.
It's either Glendale or Scottsdale. I always mix them up. One of those two. I was born in one of those two cities, right outside of Phoenix. I always told people Phoenix, and my mom would correct me, but now I can't remember what she said. But I could see them releasing like a Glendale. Well, no, they've made it pretty clear it's going to be an East Coast release.
Yeah.
Possible B-Man Fu. B-Man FU. B-Man FU? B-Man Fu says possibly satellite neighborhood or town as part of the main city. Yeah, I like that. I like that idea.
To go back to you, Rutherford was smart because with the short time frame they were working with, trying to get everything out for having the different stadiums for the NFLPA, Rutherford made perfect sense. Two teams, one city, made perfect sense. Now with these, depending on how they release these cities, if it's a tier 1, tier 2, usually when you have these satellites, you're traveling to the main hub and then from that main hub to the satellites. So they're not going to make a direct link to a satellite first and then tie it back into a main hub.
Well, why not? I mean, because aren't there, what's the Hyperloop tied to? Boston? Doesn't the Hyperloop go to Boston?
The Hyperloop's a big old dream.
Whoa. Hey, now, they're an official sponsor of Upland, which means we love the Hyperloop.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really? It's not. Maybe that sounds stupid. I didn't know it was not a thing. Is it actually not a thing, or is it just like still?
They're still working on it.
Gotcha.
It's not up and running. The interesting thing with Miami Gardens is on the north side of Miami. It's just southwest of Hollywood. So it just depends on how much of Miami they would release in itself.
Hyperloop got ghosted? Dang.
Yeah.
What is it? Me in college? Jeez. Just getting ghosted? No? Can't win them all. I tried.
Yeah, you tried. So that brings me back to, I'm thinking it's going to be something more like Tampa or Jacksonville or Charlotte.
Gotcha. So all of those stadiums are in like or near the city proper.
Yeah, they're in the city proper.
So wait, so you gave us a list of the cities it's not going to be.
Yes.
Please tell me that there's a list of cities it could be.
That's for a different episode.
Oh my gosh. Ooh, Kenny says possibly Atlanta. I think Atlanta's falls more Midwest, right? Like that's more.
They call it the South.
Is it
falls into the South?
But like, would Atlanta count as an East? So really, there's like three. Well, there's really like three segments that I see. It's like East Coast, West Coast, and then the middle. I think that's how Upland's viewing it. I don't know if they've gotten like Midwest and South yet, but
they
maybe
got those
like
combined.
Yeah, I think the middle is just kind of combined right now. I don't know that there's a big enough player base to define Midwest and South, but I guess they have done like New Orleans and Nashville. So like, I guess there is a little bit of a balance. So that would probably fall under the South region, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it could be there's a lot of East Coast to you. You have Philadelphia, Baltimore. Um,
Yeah.
you'd
Georgia
have
is literally an eastern coast of the country. So, oh,
what they call it the South, but it is on the East Coast. Technicalities,
yeah.
but
Which is
every
funny because, like, I would consider Miami and Tampa East Coast.
well,
But
everybody says Florida doesn't count as a southern state. So
yeah, Florida's like its own thing.
yeah, if you talk to anybody down south, they just say Florida's a northern state, even though it's interesting.
You know what? That's really fair. Like it does, like, because you kind of just go over the South to get to Florida. Miami would have a team and put 2 international airports on both.
Ooh,
Ooh, I I would be shocked if the international airport for the East Coast wasn't in Manhattan, like wasn't attached to New York. I just think it would be absolutely ludicrous.
yeah.
I mean, they say Miami is AFC East,
Yep.
a Far City East. What's AFC?
Really?
A Far City.
American Football Conference and the
American
National Football Conference. It's the two
Wait, I thought they were
conferences.
in the NFL.
They are. That's the league.
Are they in the NFL or the AFC?
They're in the NFL in the AFC division.
What is happening? This is why no one watches football. It's too damn confusing.
Man, I'm not even taking that one.
Atlanta is the biggest airport hub in the U.S. That is not true. I believe it's one of the biggest for sure.
Yes, it's top 3 easy.
I don't think I think LAX is the biggest. Chicago is huge. I thought it was like JFK, LAX, ORD, Atlanta. Those are definitely like top 5s. Yeah. San Francisco is international, but LA is 2 IRL. Miami is international. Speculation is my favorite. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, San Francisco definitely will have international because, spoiler, they've already put those properties there years ago. So San Francisco will definitely be the first international terminals launched because they're already there.
So from the StratosJet.com, they have the top 5 busiest airports in the United States. Atlanta International is number 1 with 53.4 million passengers. LAX at 42.8. Chicago O'Hare at 40.8. Dallas Fort Worth at 35.7. And Denver at 33.6.
Wow. Tip of the hat to you, Kenny. That was a shock me. I did not realize that Atlanta had taken the number 1 spot.
Yep.
Good to know.
Yeah. So it could be anywhere on the East Coast, but I would think it would be more of a tier 2. And you do still have Queens that's out there. And somebody was saying, said Boogie was saying that Long Island is searchable in the game. I have not verified it, but it was searchable at least for a day. And he said he was the first one to call that it was Long Island. Well, that was the first post I'd seen anywhere about it, but supposedly Long Island addresses.
Searchable in what sense?
In the search, like in the Upland search properties.
I mean, you can do that. Like I've definitely put in addresses that have taken me to unreleased properties, like unreleased cities and stuff, like just like outside the bounds. Like you can definitely do that already. So I don't know if that's what it is. It ain't more. More cheese feels very passionate. It ain't gonna be Queens. Long Island, Long Schmyland. More cheese. That's what is going on? I thought more cheese might have been having a stroke. I was concerned what was happening there.
Either way, it will be interesting.
Putting them 20 UPX. Whoever's
20
taking that
UPX.
deal.
Woohoo!
20. I'll take that action. If it is Queens, you have to go visit one of my properties, and I shall shame you publicly for doing so. And if it is not Queens, I will go visit one of your properties, and you can shame me publicly, I suppose.
Yeah. So, where do you think the next city release is coming? You got an estimate on it?
Well, now I got money on Queens. I got
how far out?
I mean, so it's got to be Queens now. I'm gonna go talk to Dirk and Edon right after this and be like, spoiler, if you don't make Queens, I'm out 20 UPX. And the pride of having to go find one of More Cheese's properties. So it's gotta be Queens.
All right.
Priorities. Ooh, look at this.
So we got Spark Week coming up.
Yeah, I like that.
Going to be more hate and discontent around the treasure hunting. So they did the top Spark holders, if you were curious, who's holding the top Spark in Upland before they have the ability to add more to their collection, is M Motors has 65 Spark.
So what did we say a Spark costs? Like $600?
Yeah, give or take. Yeah, they sell the one for $460, but it cost about $600 because there's always so few of the one full Spark to buy.
Yeah, like 40 grand.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm curious what that actually looks like. What kind of deal and partnership? How does that work? If there is, did M Motors pay to be a part of Upland? Did Upland pay M Motors? Is it just like a mutually beneficial deal? As far as I know, there has not been any information around the business relationship. JFK first international flights to Europe, probably.
Yep.
I think the first international we'll see is to Asia, honestly.
So do you find it surprising the two top Spark holders are M Motors and NFLPA?
No, what I find surprising is that this Spark Week, Abdullah is going to have more Spark than the NFLPA. That's what I find shocking. Yeah, so I'm curious to see this. And who the heck is East Zero and VT Hookie?
What? Virginia Tech Hokie. Virginia Tech's the Hokies. So somebody probably went to Virginia Tech and graduated in 2008.
Wow. Look at that. Look at that sleuthing. And our boy Dizzy, holding it down. But it's interesting. I mean, outside of Dizzy and, hey, Gabi crushing it. Good for you, Gabi. Get it. What will the Upland Bureau be? Yeah, that's true. I don't know. A visitor worth 9 million net worth. Yeah, that's true. That's interesting. The Upland Bureau still don't know. Yeah, I think that these are interesting numbers. It's good to see. And it's interesting because, again, to me, there's a lot of names that I don't recognize up here that are absolutely crushing the Spark game. And that's really cool. I think it's its own market. It's a completely different, in my mind, it's a completely different game than the traditional property game. And it's really valid and very strong. You have so much flexibility if you leverage your Spark to, say you buy a property in Detroit, wherever really, and you put a property on it, you immediately have equity. And the thing is, because the price of Spark fluctuates, you can kind of build in speculation. So it's really interesting. The whole idea of renting the Spark and then having properties with buildings on it, like when the Spark is cheap, right? The value kind of drops. Like, oh, a small townhouse is like, 30,000 UPX. But imagine when Spark prices go up, and then all of a sudden that small townhouse is worth 50,000. Like, that's really interesting to me, of like being able to invest a commodity like Spark to actively build your portfolio outside of just gaining interest, right? You're building assets that can appreciate or honestly depreciate depending on the cost of Spark. So I think it's a really cool game. As per Icarus, you need above 10.7 to be in top. I'm not even top 100.
Wow.
Ooh.
Time to buy some Spark.
Yep. Well, Spark Week's coming up. I guess I'm dropping some money.
Or you can go treasure hunt. They have the new rewards out for the different tiers. Currently, there's no tier 3 treasure hunting city in Upland right now, but go to your treasure hunting cities for your Spark rewards. And of course, the higher the reward, the more people hunting.
Now is this with the fire, the riot mode, or is this just normal?
Normal.
So in Chicago, correct me if I'm wrong on this. In Chicago, if it was riot mode and someone got this Spark chest, they would get 60.6 Spark. Is that true?
I don't know.
Man, I think so. TMO, get your chief. Yeah, that's true. I do need. Man, I've been slacking on that. The thing
and
is,
they did change that though. Is it's not automatic now for you making the transition during Spark Week. The team's going to review it and make sure it's legit and honest, and then they'll award it at the end of the week.
Well, and I think I read that the chief executive award now is just always given. Like you don't. Yeah. It doesn't need to be Spark Week. The smaller ones do, but I think like the executive one is like less than what it is in Spark Week. But I was just reading actually, like in the actual like app, you can see the different reward levels, and I think it even says like for the lower ones, it's like, hey, you might have this opportunity to get more Spark during Spark Week. And chief executive, it's like if you got 6 figures in, wow, dang, with riot mode, Chicago, 0.6 Spark Globe.
Nice.
That is crazy.
Nice.
So I mean, again, like those people who invested, I mean, we were talking about it for a while. People building out their treasure hunt for Chicago specifically.
Now I feel like I missed out there.
Yeah. Oh, current Spark reward. Oh, okay. So current Spark rewards for executive is set to 1 Spark, and then the chief executive is 2 Sparks. And it says that in there. So you're guaranteed director. You're guaranteed a half at a director. Now at pro, it says you may also be eligible for a Spark reward when you level up when special level up promotions are run. So at the pro level, it looks like it's only Spark Week. At director, you get a half. At executive, you get 1. At chief executive, you get 2. I don't know if those are higher numbers with Spark Week. I'd have to check it out, but that's in the game.
Yeah.
Oh, what's this?
So they changed the rules to Alcatraz a little.
Yeah.
And basically, they'll be updating some of the restrictions for players in Alcatraz. From now on, players in Alcatraz can no longer mint, buy, or sell properties, earn or stake Spark, or start constructions now. Because people were just going there and like, okay, you put me here, now what? I can still do all this stuff.
Wow. You know what? Yes. Thank you, Upland. Honestly, like it sucks because there are now with their automation stuff. Like I know people have been sent to Alcatraz without kind of notification because there's a bit of automation to it. But again, for players who are legitimately not doing anything even remotely sketchy, you should be at zero risk of going to Alcatraz. If you're doing something that's possibly sketchy, even if it's well within the terms of the game, like, and you get sent, it's just like, the algorithms that they're running, like, aren't just throwing random people in jail. Like, you have to hit certain thresholds that, trigger, those kind of actions. I love this. What do you think? What's this picture of?
Yeah.
Like, are these people, like, what did you just, like,
Those-
random ass explorers?
No, those are actual block explorers of people that are in Alcatraz. And I did think it's funny that P that's right there, that looks like the Pittsburgh Pirates baseball team logo.
Yeah.
And then that one looks like a bibbing ripoff, even though they threw a hat on it and cash in its mouth. And then some of them were just normal block explorers, because I was having a hard time finding some custom made ones. But yeah. So I just grabbed a picture of Alcatraz and some block explorers and threw them in there.
Nice. I'm excited for this. Like, I think this is good. I really, because that essentially means your account is locked.
Yeah.
Right.
I find it interesting that they just kind of slipped it into the Spark Week announcement in the article about Spark Week. I was like, okay.
You're like, oh, what? So now you go to jail. Like, your accounts, is there anything you can do? I guess not really.
No.
Like, I'm just trying to think, like, is there any action, or is, like, the account actually locked?
So you can't mint, you can't buy, you can't sell, you can't earn or stake Spark. So you can't build on anybody else's property. You can't start a building of your own. You're pretty much done until you pay your penalty.
Wow. Good on them. Boulder asks, can people in jail send themselves out? No, you can't. You definitely can't do that. You're in Alcatraz. Now, we have had, at least in the past, which I don't know, it was kind of funny. Like, you would see, because they get the J, right? And so you'd see them floating around, like a different, like in Upland, and be like, hey, we have an escaped convict in Upland. So that happened a couple times, but no, like, you can't, like, you're stuck there, which again, I like a lot. That's interesting. I wouldn't even mind, like, okay, how about this? Would it be too extreme for them to have a permanent mark on their account? Like a record, like I want to be able to check. And again, like that, like, not immediately, because again, like, they have an automation that puts you in jail, and then there's an investigation that happens, right? We'll go with the innocent till proven guilty, even though, like, you're going to go to jail, like, you're going to get arrested, but then hopefully you get your day in court, and support will look at your ticket and go, oh yeah, our bad, you're right. Or they go, no, this is messed up. I would love to see a rap sheet. I would love to see this account was tagged for multi-accounting. Here's the charges against them. Here's the penalty or the time that they served. Like, and that's just on that account forever. Like, I want to know who I'm doing business with, because honestly, like, we used to have that blacklist, and it just got too out of control because so many people were getting sent to Alcatraz. But, like, I want to be able to decide if I want to do business with somebody who has been previously, caught scamming the system. Like, I don't really want to give them any business. I would definitely take a look at that. Handcuffs badge. No. A badge. No. Badge.
Yes, a badge. Because I'd like to see you throw yourself in Alcatraz just to get the badge, because you would do that.
I would. I'd be like, I'm going to go get a jaywalking ticket just to get this badge. Day in court, but it takes like a week for them to review, and the automated system is kind of dumb. Yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily going to disagree with that. If you're doing things like buying and selling the same property back and forth between the same players, if you are consistently selling properties at like one UPX or some stuff, like, any of that's like kind of shady, like it's necessary. Like there's always times, like, I mean, I've done some stuff that it's just like, this is just how you have to operate in the game right now. But if you're doing that at such a level that you get flagged for suspicious activity, like don't do that. Like be you know, what's the, not diligent, what's it when you like just do a little bit, you like use it sparingly, like don't go crazy with it. And again, like especially like same people, leniency maybe, yeah, maybe TMs with it.
I'd just like to see a counter on Alcatraz so you know how many people are actually there. It just says imprisoned or whatever and just has a count over Alcatraz Island so you know.
Yeah, and again, like I really would like a more permanent way to like see, or like again, here's a list of all the people in Alcatraz, right?
Right. Here's
yeah.
the people that have been convicted, you know, not just they went to Alcatraz because, you know, you don't want to just label everybody that's been there because some people are innocent and they prove their case and they get out free.
Yeah, and maybe that's, and you know what? I mean, Mountain Dew Me 69. Duh. I got that. Mountain Dew Me 69. I think that's a fair point because of the review system takes so long. Like, I'm trying to think like what would be a fair middle ground of like, okay, you're in Alcatraz, so you can't sell properties or stake Spark, but can you buy properties? Like, I don't know. It feels like maybe you give like less restriction because it's like, hey, you're in jail, so all of your assets are frozen, right? So you can't stake Spark, you can't sell properties, but if you are like, well, I really want to buy these properties, like, because I'm trying to think of like what would be like if you got incorrectly jailed, what would be the worst case negative impact to you? And the worst case negative impact to you would be you wanted to go buy a property. So a property came up for sale and you couldn't buy it. So I feel like maybe they should allow buying of a property while in jail but like once you're convicted, like once they've reviewed your case and they're like, nope, you're shady, boop, everything gets locked down. What do you think about that? Nope. I just realized you don't want to do that because then that's how they could get their UPX out off the account. Like they could go give it to their friend. Yeah.
Yep. There's always a way around it.
Okay, this is getting way too convoluted, but what if your current UPX pool gets locked, but you can still buy more UPX and use the bot UPX? I got you out by mistake during a city release. It was painful. Damn. Mountain Dew Me, that does suck. I'm curious. Maybe you should come on live if you want one time. We could talk about that experience. Like what happened? What did you do to trigger that? You know, the automation to maybe help prevent other players. Like, hey, you know, these are the kind of activities that these bots are looking for. Not to circumvent the bots because that's not the intention. But it would be more like, hey, really be careful doing these kind of transactions because they're going to get flagged and you could end up in jail of no fault of your own. So I'm curious. Yeah.
All right. Are you ready for the next segment? Will you accept that offer?
Woo! Yeah. Show me them deals.
All right. Don't forget to send us your deals if you want us to break down a trade and let us know if you accepted it or rejected it, or let us know if you just want our opinion. Send me DMs, send Too Stupid to Win the DMs on Discord, and we'll get it on the show and we'll break it down for you. So this one is the individual is offering their property, which is a Los Angeles property that's just in the Los Angeles collection. Mint price is 21,000 UPX. It's in the Selmar neighborhood and it has no building on it. And they want to trade that for somebody's Marble Hill, Manhattan collection. and that was a 8,930 UPX mint, and that's just in the New Yorker collection.
I thought we weren't doing obviously bad deals anymore. This is obviously a bad deal. What am I missing?
Nothing.
Marble Hill is a super like interesting area. Like I don't know what the minimum. I don't know what the floor is there, but it's crazy. I'm sure, and it's got a building on it, and he's going to trade a random LA property for it. Seems like a troll offer, honestly. Let's see, 21,000. Like it's not even that much difference in value. No. Boo. No.
So Marble Hill is
because Marble Hill is the special edition neighborhood, right? So that came out with the Ukraine, like people like, oh my gosh, I don't even know. Don't remind me that I paid $500 for a freaking $20 property. Oh my gosh. Whatever. It was to help. It was for a good cause. Glad I could help out, but geez. That did not sit well with me, honestly. It still gives me a little bit of heartburn.
All right.
I've been doing a lot of Block Explorer buying. I think I spent well over $1 million UPX this week on Block Explorers. I just did a deal this morning for like 470,000 for a bunch of Block Explorers. So I'm curious what I gotta get some Block Explorers. Like, what do you value the Ukraine heart at?
I have no idea what the Block Explorers. I haven't been playing in that market, so you're the person that I'd ask about Block Explorers. The floor of Marble Hill is 280,000 UPX.
Yeah.
280,000 with 150 total properties in the neighborhood.
Gotcha. Yeah. So yeah, I was buying. Well, because like for me, I'm collecting a lot of the Heart Explorers. So the In Love, the couple of Valentine ones, the Ukraine Heart. Because honestly, again, I'm gonna create a Heart racing team. I was trying to think of a clever. The only real I actually know probably more NASCAR drivers than I do football players, but like Dale Earnhardt Jr. So I was gonna make like a Miles Hart Earnhardt, like Miles Earnhardt. Oh, Sparkheart. Anyway, I'm trying too hard, but somehow incorporate a pun on Dale Earnhardt racing team, but with Carhartt. That's a thing, isn't it? Isn't Carhartt a thing? I don't know what it is.
But if you don't succeed with your first troll offer, you send an even worse one.
Wait, so is this the same person?
Same person. So they got rejected on the first offer. So they said, all right, I'll send you a property for a Brooklyn property.
Why did they send it to us? Like, why did they send it to you? Like, why is this person rejecting my offer? Like, are they trying to justify? Or they're like, hey, look at this awesome troll offer I sent.
Yeah. I just
Carhartt
this was funny.
Oh, so hilarious. You know what's hilarious is trolling people. No, it's not. It's not funny at all.
Not funny at all.
Don't do it. Don't do it. It's just bad. Oh, I'm so glad you put this in. Oh, this is probably my favorite thing that's happened in Upland this week. Like, actually, can we get a zoom in on that? What are you doing? You didn't even like crop this. This is horrible.
I was like, oh crap, I got to get this in. And then I had some screenshots of it myself. And then it was just ran out of time.
No. Yeah. So NFT me, I don't know any other way to say it than they've changed the game. Like,
yes,
to me, the moment I saw this, he actually sent me a screenshot privately at first, and I think it was that bottom right corner one, and I thought it was like I thought there was a new corporation or something coming to Upland because it was so unique. I was like, oh shit, what's this new building like? And then like he showed me the other screenshots, and it came. I was like, holy cow! Like mind blown. This because like to be fair, MTU or yeah, Midtown Ter- what yeah Midtown Terrace, they like spelled out like using different colors like MTU or their initials. I was like, okay, yeah, like that's pretty cool because you own it up. But like this dude built a circle. Like I know it sounds so dumb when you say it. Like it's such an obvious thing, but holy cow! Like
If you haven't seen it, go to 12908 Desmond Street in Los Angeles, California, and that gets you into the area. NFT Me has the properties right there on both sides of the street,
oh, he's
and
bought a lot more. So
yeah,
he hired FSA buyers. So he showed me his map, and he's expanding, and he's got like a design. I was like, dude, this is insane. This is so cool. Like, I honestly don't know how we've gone. How long has buildings been out? Are we at a year with buildings yet?
I'd have to look that up.
But it's been months, right?
But
And again, people have done some clever things, and there's been some like wacky off center and some other like
backwards,
yeah, like
sideways. But this person took the 7 properties that border 2 streets and made a circle. So it's like kind of like a Stonehenge, the Stonehenge of Upland.
Upland Stonehenge is exactly like that is exactly what I was thinking too. I was like, and it won't look like Stonehenge once it's complete. Which is funny. Like I would almost just put like the minimum amount of spark just to keep it that design, and then just like destroy them. I mean, that'd be such a waste before they're built. But like, what an incredible concept! And again, he's got like designs for like the rest of that area, and I was like, holy cow! I got some blocks of properties. I know that that wandering TM down there has got blocks of properties you could do some crazy stuff on. Again, to me, game changer. Like it's one of those things. Again, you see it. It's so simple. It's so obvious in hindsight. But as far as I know, he's the first one I've ever seen do something like this. Like it's so outside the box because everyone like again you're either trying to like line it up perfectly or you're just throwing it on or you're doing it backwards or whatever, but to strategically place this many properties to create a shape that otherwise just in the real world wouldn't even make any damn sense. You would never build a set of townhouses all facing each other like this. It's nonsense, but it is such a cool. And especially when you consider like you'll be going over it, from just a view perspective, it draws you in. I can't tell you how glad I am that you put this in here because it was absolutely my favorite thing that happened in Upland this week, and just absolute massive kudos to NFT Me changing the game. I feel like we need like a game changer award. I might figure out a way to make that happen. Like, boom, game changer. Like, dude, you get an award for this. This is super cool.
Absolutely. So definitely check it out, and I might help with that build.
You know what? I might too. I might just do that. Because that's so cool.
So how's the wiki going?
The wiki is chugging along. I was actually just thinking that because I was like, oh, I got some like premium support. It was super expensive to try and help me with some stuff. We're trying to get some of the social elements up. I think it's lost a tiny, if I'm being fair, it's probably lost a tiny bit of momentum from where it was, but there is so much great content being created. Lots of people still contributing. We have, again, a Facebook page. I'm going to do some more like advertising. And there's a couple other big like Spark providers and a couple, especially now with the racing. So we haven't updated it at all with some of the racing stuff, but people are putting together racing, proposed racing tracks and proposed racing teams and car clubs and all kinds of stuff that we really want to make sure that we capture and give all of these really cool, groups an opportunity to kind of say, hey, this is our story. This is what we're trying to do. This is going to be our impact on Upland. And really that's what the wiki is a lot about, is tracking all of those great community projects, educating new players, all that good fun stuff.
Nice. You got anything else?
Twitter? There is Twitter. So we do have a Twitter. So TM says Facebook sucks. Use Twitter. I agree. Facebook is it's a different medium. It's interesting. The Twitter is I think it's just Upland Wiki.
Yeah. So definitely go check those out. Follow us on Twitter. Make sure you're liking and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Find us on Facebook or whatever medium that you like to get your updates for Upland and the podcast show. And we do have a page on there. Definitely like that page and be a follower of that page also. Until next week, we do have some content coming out, working on some videos, instructional videos for beginners. And then we're also doing a learning series that's breaking it down for simplicity purposes too. Got some great interviews coming up here over the next couple of weeks. Next week, I got to talk to ThankMeLater, but we're going to try and do the show on Tuesday night because I'll be headed to Atlanta to hang out with my dog friends for all that golf tournament and all that.
You're abandoning Upland for those mutts?
Absolutely.
Yeah, sounds like it's going to be a blast, honestly.
Look, it's been cold. Next week, it's going to be 80 degrees and sunny down there while I'm there. So I definitely need some warm weather to enjoy and probably fry myself on the golf course. And I'm a pretty good beer drinker and golf cart driver. The actual golfing aspect, not so much, but it should be a good time. My wife and I are getting away, excited to have that time too. So it should be a good time. So we won't be on next Thursday, but coming up, we do have a couple of nice interviews you'll be surprised with. So
you know what? Maybe I'll just do my own thing. Maybe I'll do a Thank Me Later, Ask Me Anything.
There you go.
I wouldn't know how to publish it. Oh, with co-host TM? No one would watch that. Co-host Mindex, maybe.
There you go. But definitely next week will be a little different schedule. We'll have an early podcast. ThankMeLater might do something by himself on Thursday. You never know.
I mean, I'm probably, let's be honest, I'm probably going to do something by myself Thursday either way. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, geez. All right. I think with
that, I got it in right before the closing. Call that.
It's the UPX Podcast, baby. Glad you tuned in. Got your host, Thank Me Later, and you're stupid to win. Might be coming up session as soon as you begin. Start out king of the street, then lock in iconic in. Welcome to Upland. Grab your UPX, man. On your way, and the dough hit you with $4,000. Get to buying and gripping, then to selling and flipping. Over to moving and shucking. I'm Scrooge McDuckin in UPX.